Test one, test one, test one. Okay, good. Guys, we're going to start in about 30 seconds. If you can grab any two objects that are the same shape and size, that would be awesome. Chopsticks, coffee stirrers, 2 spoons from the kitchen. Really, you could even use like 2 bandanas. It could be really anything. Okay. Whoa. Okay, let's see if we can. Sweet. Corona hair in the house. Sorry for the late start, everybody. Or the slightly late start. I was waiting for people to, I can't see who's here and who's not here, and I just didn't want to respond until I knew for sure that, sweet, Nikki. Sweet. Okay, cool. Anyway, thanks everybody for joining me. Tonight's class, I'm not going to go on and on about this, but since we're starting a little bit late, I want to stay on track. All you really need to know is that there will be a jam on Saturday, and I would like to include a little more hip-hop in the jam this weekend. So I can't promise you that it'll be safe for kids' ears if you are protective of the language they hear, or if you're protective of the language you hear, which is fine. But sometimes hip-hop can get a little raunchy, so I think I'm going to, hey, sweet, thanks for chiming in, everybody. I'm glad everybody is here. Anyway, so I think the music this weekend on the jam might be a little bit, I'm going to try to include some hip-hop, and you know, I don't want to stereotype hip-hop, but sometimes the music, ever since I found out kids were watching the jams, I've been trying to keep it a little bit less raunchy, but I gotta sort of flex. So anyway, and then the donations have been great, and I really, really appreciate them. And I just want to keep reiterating that if you ever want to watch a replay, they're all on YouTube, and they're not silenced. And so you can pass them around. All of the sweet Portland. All of the playlists also are on SoundCloud, including tonight's. And what's been really cool for me has been that I'm starting to find a rhythm with teaching you guys this way. And a lot of my rhythm from my local class is starting to, happen here. And so like what I've been doing almost all the time, I've been hooping right before I teach this class. And so I've already hooped this whole class and enjoyed it, or most of it anyway. And so it's just been like this great, return to kind of like home for me, and you guys are helping provide that for me, so thank you very much for that. The playlist today, kind of like I do in my classes, sometimes I just find an artist that I love, and I just rock him or her through a whole practice, and tonight there's a heavy dose of Spoken Bird, but I really like his music. I have featured him on the podcast before, and I think he's dope. My studio audience is Ann tonight, and I'm going to go ahead and jump straight into the class. I grew up a sports fan, and growing up a sports fan, you have an inside look into sports. And every now and then you would see like a football player, and they would be not on a football field, but like in a swimming pool, and they would be doing some weird exercise in a swimming pool, even though they were a football player. The idea was that that swimming exercise was going to hit something that maybe football play wouldn't hit, but would make them, once it got strengthened, whatever skill it was, that once it got strengthened, it would make them better at football. And so they would do all kinds of weird stuff, and I'm sure that everybody has an example of this. Tonight's class is in the spirit of a football player doing something in a swimming pool. Because what we're trying to do, especially for you beginners, is give you a new way, like capital W way, of moving the body. And also, and this is something that I think a lot of hoopers take for granted, but building awareness. Like you build an awareness of your movement. And that awareness kind of builds like wisdom. Like you don't just really like go out and get it from reading. Like it builds from experience, and flight time, essentially. So what I want you to do is, if you have a pair of chopsticks, now I've taught this on the road, and this was actually a really successful experience for me. So like as far as like people seem to get something out of it. So what I need you to do is, if you have a pair of chopsticks, these are an old pair that I had in my my drawer, and this is going to be Anne's pair. This is going to be Anne's pair. And what we're going to do, but you can use drumsticks, you could use anything that you want to, just something that you hold in your hand, and it's probably going to be best for you if it's not too heavy. So anything that you hold in your hand, I'm going to pass these off to Anne here. And then I'm going to show you what I'm going to be working with. Now, it's not because I'm fancy. It's because I want you to be able to see these, hopefully, in the camera. So these are like, the good to the earth kind of chopsticks. And then I'm also going to be using these mallets, because I think if I show you these mallets, like for playing bowls and stuff, that you'll be able to see what I'm doing a little bit better. Okay, perfect. I'm trying to keep all my talks within 4 minutes, so let's do this. We're going to start off with sway. If you don't have anything that you can hold in your hand, where are you? Find something. I mean, you could hold 2 sets of keys. I mean, the closer in weight, the better, but maybe not completely necessary. Now, you don't have to pick up your you can start with your chopsticks in sway tonight or not. I'm actually going to not start with them. Make sure. Okay. So if you're new to class, we always start every class with sway. We're going to start with sway right now. And I don't want to have the chopsticks. Actually, I think you shouldn't hold them now. I changed my mind. If you're new to class, sway is the warm-up time. Yeah, you can turn that off if you want. Okay. Whatever you need. Sway is the warm-up. It's the free way to move with your body. Some people stretch, and some people roll around the ground. I like to think of it as the long tunnel to your movement moment. You commit to 4 or 5 minutes of moving freely, listening to the body, listening to the music. Audible breath in. My housemate asked me, why don't I ever say audible breath out? And the reason for that is that deep down, I'm kind of an anarchist at times. And assuming too much authority just feels uncomfortable. And so I don't call audible breath out because, 1, I trust you to know that you need to breathe out. And then 2, so that I cue your rhythm, I don't dictate your rhythm. Audible breath in. The whole Chopsticks exercise is about awareness. Awareness is like a light that you turn on in some part of the body. Tonight we're going to work on bringing awareness to our hands and hopefully creating kind of a pathway of trail lights from our hands through our arms and into the deepest parts of our core movement. We want to push awareness, the light, into the hands so that it's so bright that it shines back down the hallways of the arms and up the staircases of the legs. Audible breath in. Audible breath in. Open, 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 open. Audible breath in. Buffering. I don't know why. Sorry, guys. You can also check the Twitch stream. Everybody tells me the Twitch stream is awesome. It's HoopPathBax. It's free to sign up. Okay, so now what I want you to do is, actually, just for a second, I want you to go ahead and grab your chopsticks. And I'm going to talk to you just for a minute about this, and then we'll get right into the music. So sometimes it helps people to understand and not feel weird if I explain to them why we're doing this. And here's what it is. I have noticed that the majority of people that I have seen struggle with learning to core hoop over years, like where they've really given it a shot and they've been unable to do it, a lot of times it has to do with the fact that they have very constricted movement up in their chest, and they have a very, very sort of passive, non-dominant side. And it's as if it's like if the two trees were sisters and one mom gave all the attention to the other tree. And so what this kind of does, this exercise does, is you place an object in each hand so that you become aware and stay, this is the key, stay aware of your hand. And I know this is going to look weird, but I promise I think this will help you. The first exercise we're going to do with the chopsticks is just move them and develop a relationship with them. And if you're unsure how to move them, you're just developing awareness. Like I said, you're creating so much light in the hand, that light shines all the way back down through the arms. And then, of course, like any instrument, you can hold can hold the chopsticks or the mallets or whatever it is that you have in different ways and feel how that will open the hands. This is me drawing, right? This is me stirring. And those different positions, as soft as they are, as subtle as they are, they make a big difference in how the arm ripples back down into the body. That each chopstick has to the other one is completely up to you as far as how they move, if they move in sync or if they move their own way. Open, open, open. Really helps to imagine, like, you know, fire or something that could leave like a trace or a visual light. However you move, it really doesn't matter, because as you're moving, your brain is more than perhaps usual. Your brain is in a relay of signals and messages from your hand back to your brain. Because you have this object, you cannot let it go. And there's a level of awareness in perhaps a hand that you usually forget about. If you're a beginner and you've been struggling with shoulders, or you've been struggling with angles, it could be just that you haven't given your non-dominant side or the weak side of that enough attention, enough chance to grow, to learn, just like you did your dominant side. Audible breath in. All right. Hopefully you guys are still with me.
We all want to help one another.
We're going to move up.
Human beings are like that.
We're going to move into
the
waist for just a second here. On the waist, and I'm going to grab my sticks again. I'm here. You know, the funny thing is that this is definitely probably the most beginner class I could ever teach. But I really do think that we can all work on these fundamentals as long as you know, as you're there, like willing to in your hoop, you never really get tired of this sort of thing. So, as I was talking before, a lot of times, and I want to make sure that I'm being, sometimes in my being funny, I come off like a jerk. You know, when people first start hooping, I'm not trying to be a jerk, they are T-Rexing, right? And in a way, you can think of it, and they're doing this because they're so focused on keeping the hoop up, that the focus, it's called focus fist in other sports, it's like it's caused them to constrict and tighten up. And so one of the first things that hoopers will ask you as they start to learn on the waist is like what to do with the hands. And that bridge can be hard to build and find or get across. Chopsticks can help you with that. Anne's doing some good chopstick work right now. But chopsticks can help you learn to do some things with your hands. And so if I'm learning to waist hoop, if I'm learning to core hoop and want to develop
we don't want to hate and despise one another.
Some good skills and some good understanding, being aware of both arms will keep you from T-Rexing, because usually what happens is one arm frees up, it becomes the super dominant arm, right? Just like the super dominant tree, it becomes the super dominant limb. And then slowly we see enough videos and we want to push the other hand out. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to kind of like, it's almost as if we're in martial arts or something. We're going to drill on purpose, pushing our hands out and using these chopsticks or mallets or whatever you have to really see the arc of your hands. Do you want a pair of chopsticks? Oh, here we go. You know, I can try opening and closing. Good. You're going to get a good core workout tonight. We're working on the core. That's what all this is about. It's about starting to, like for me, my non-dominant side is my left hand. And so I can work on that, on equalizing that dominance by just doing fun stuff that nobody else is watching with my chopstick or my mallet or whatever I have here. Drawing circles, writing my name in left-handed. Whatever I do, and I'm upgrading my firmware right now in my body. I'm giving my body multiple things to do at the same time. Good. One thing you might notice is that your chopsticks start to get heavy. And one way that I have, I'm not like a super, well, I am kind of a fitness geek. I'm not crazy, but I am sort of a fitness geek. And one of the ways that it was actually through chopsticks, kind of simulating club work, that I started to keep my hands above my shoulders up here and roll and keep those elbows high. Not that you need to do that by any means, but it started to I started to feel the strain in a good way for me. Now, as I am moving my hands, I'm hopefully feeling a connection with what my core hoop is doing. Big swooshes. One thing I noticed when I was doing this on the road, because I took this to every city on a big tour. I can't remember which tour it was, but I took it to every city because once I did it in San Francisco, I think I started there. It was such a hit with people because of their own sort of transformations. In fact, they got so into just manipulating chopsticks that we could have just had the chopstick path that weekend in some of the cities. Okay. You remember this? Sweet. Oh man, there's so much HoopPath on this thread. It's awesome. Thank you guys for everybody that's tuning in, however long you can. The replays are on YouTube. Thank you guys for this. Your body's going to feel great. If you can give me another 35 minutes, your body's going to feel great after this. So sometimes we're not used to staccato rhythms coming through the hands until we get something that looks like drumsticks in them, or until we get something like sticks, okay? But staccato rhythms in the hoop and moving through your hands, the whole point of this exercise, or not this exercise, but the whole night, is that once you build the awareness up in your hands so that your left side of your body always holds the stick and always remembers to do that, that once you build that up, you begin to make this connection with how your hands move and what's happening at the core. So that you start to feel that, like, if I really knock like this, I can feel it somehow affecting my waist current. So what I want you to do is play with staccato rhythms right now. staccato rhythms with my hands. Sorry, I'm making that was the final tweak to the music level, sorry. Staccato, drumming, moving. If you have a mirror, like obviously I'm looking in the camera right now, but if you have a mirror, you can work on form. And sometimes it is nice to have a mirror or, video. But remember that no matter how good you are at this is that football player in the swimming pool right now. You're working on developing a skill set that's hard to put a name on, but easy to notice its effect. Since we've already opened up the full can of weird here, I can do crisscross awareness, like I could stand on my left foot and move the right arm, whatever I want to do, staccato or anything else, or switch that, so that I have awareness crisscrossing through my body right now, going from right foot to left hand. We're going to get a workout tonight. This is definitely a way to go. If you're a beginner hooper, you might want to do something like just trying to, punch and keep the hoop up. And what will happen, hopefully, eventually, is that you'll start to make this connection, which is hopefully what we're going to do right now. This is the last super basic that I want to bring in. So now what I want you to do is, what we're going to do is draw circles. Because if you're a beginner, this can really help you. And what we're going to do is we're going to draw circles with our hands. And then as we start to draw them, we're going to get kind of crazy with the drawing so that the hands sort of start to lead the movement. That they start to be what you feel like is sort of leading your torso into that movement. It looks super weird, but it's going to build a connection. And then I can, start to focus on both of my chopsticks, or my mallets in my case, and I can focus, and I can start to see if I can get their rhythm moving somewhat together. The bigger the circle that I draw of theirs, the faster the hoop speeds up usually, because I'm pushing out into that. This is me circling both hands with the current. This is me circling both hands against the current. And then this is kind of what I want you to play with, which is a with one way and against the other. And hopefully you'll begin to feel this connection. I'm pretty rooted right now. I'm sitting on all four pads of my feet. Reverse. Sometimes when especially if you're a beginner, when you're learning second current, recruiting both sides of the body, the arms and everything to help you, sometimes can be the difference in learning it in 2 years or learning it in 1 month. Circling the hand out almost as a way of stirring, like if you're trying to make the connection between the power that's in your hand is actually reverberating and being added to by the power of your core, that it's all recruited. Sometimes it takes an extra big action with the hand before you feel that. If you like this music, this is spoken bird for pretty much the whole thing, except for the beginning. And I'll have a link to the playlist. Eventually, if you're there already, we can begin to, especially at the waist, you can begin to tie your chopstick to a foot or to a leg. Sometimes it's an interesting phenomenon that when we put our goal on moving a chopstick through the air, it opens up new movement with the hoop. Oops. Circle, circle, circle. Killer air drum, exactly. Thank you. Okay. So the place that I think people can be really, really helped when it comes to using the chopsticks, you can grab some water, whatever you need to do, is on the shoulders. Because when most people learn to shoulder hoop, however they learn to keep it up, their arms inevitably wind up getting kind of stuck inside. The elbows are close together. And they wind up kind of moving either this arm overexerting it or moving back and forth here. And what you can do is give that arm, this chicken arm, less to do and activate the other arm. And those circles that I was drawing, if you're new to shoulder hooping, if you draw circles, like I'm stirring, I'm imagining right now that I am, maybe I'm doing calligraphy. I'm sitting on a fresh white piece of paper and I'm doing calligraphy. Maybe I'm making tea. But if I try a stirring motion with my two chopsticks here, if you're a beginner, it can really, really help you to activate. Instead of waiting on learning shoulders and then moving your hands, sometimes you're not learning shoulders because you're not moving your hands. I'm stirring right now. The thing with core hooping is that it's kind of, you can get it, but it's hard to really polish it without just doing it a lot. And the more fun ways you can create to do it a lot, you will eventually find it extremely fun if you don't already. But it's so good for you and it gets your heart rate up. This is the difference between circles, where I'm circling my hands, and then this is me pulsing, pushing. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. I want to use these mallets so you guys can see it. Okay. For you fitness geeks out there, I used to do this with weighted wristbands. I would weight each hand like 2 or 3 pounds, 4 pounds. But your hand gets used to it, and it doesn't work the same as having to hold something. So I think it's good to do if you just want to feel a little more, built up. But I think it takes holding something. I've seen people use sashes. Those are really pretty. Okay. Reverse. Here, I'm drawing big circles and lean back and draw these circles. Instead of just letting one arm do all the work, recruit the other arm slowly. Right? circles or pulses. These are pulses. This is me pushing your hand. Reverse. I love doing these. These really are knock reverses. I doubt they can hear that. Yeah. Uh-oh. Breaks and Paddles with mallets is the whole new thing, and that's the new jam. 2021, it'll be everywhere. All right. Okay. I hope everybody's doing all right. Hope you're still there with us. Using the arms on the shoulders or on the waist. If you can't do shoulders, just keep trying to get it up and move the shoulder, move the hands around as good as you can. Oh, yeah. This was going to be our free hoop, so I'm just going to let you hoop any way you want to this song, and then we'll come back. So we're going to free hoop. You can hoop any way you want to. This is Ann Humphreys, longtime hoop pal. She's also teaching every week super beginner stuff. This is a free hoop. You can hoop any way you want to. This is the free hoop. You can hoop any way you want to. We're going to come back. Thank you, Ann Humphreys. Sweet. Thanks, everybody. Let me read here, make sure. Absolutely, right? Simple doesn't mean easy, and, Anyway, we're going to come back into the hands for a second here. And what I'm hoping that you're feeling at the waist when we have the chopsticks going is that they're activating your hands, and you're starting to build some confidence in them, and you can kind of ice skate them and draw with them and do whatever. But the goal is that we're trying to make you a dancer, so that you're not relying on your chopsticks to start moving your hands. So our goal, hello. Sweet, our studio audience is getting rowdy in here. And there are movements that you can try, like right now, in these kind of coordinated ways. And I know that this is super basic, but what's happening here is, I'm internally and externally rotating, and I'm moving the hands around. And then my goal, because I want to be a badass 80-something, is to move those hands around while hooping and developing that skill. That skill with the hands is what we're going to call drawing for tonight, anyway. And it can come in really in handy when you are up on the shoulders. You'll get there. You'll get there. That's what these chopsticks are for. She says every time she moves her hands, the hoop falls. Welcome to hooping. So this is me drawing, and I'm going to draw right now. I'm going to do one of those silhouette vase things. You can draw circles. And I want you to not do what I'm doing. I want you to do your own version of this. But this is called drawing. And the reason that I want you to try it is it can lead to new ways of moving your hands. Like this is me drawing big circles on either side of me. Of course, there's a current to those. And if you're a beginner, this is a skill that may look simple, it may look easy, but it opens. Now, if I come up to my shoulders, and for the rest of this exercise, you can have the hoop wherever you want. When I come up to my shoulders, though, and start to draw, or to move my arms differently underneath the current, cool things happen and rhythms that I can create different shoulder rhythms that might be new to me. Good. Back with the shoulders, and I'm doing my drawing, or if I'm rotating I'm gonna use my mallet so you can see the orientation. Open, this is external rotation, internal rotation. External, internal. Okay, mix them up, if I make them the same, open. Some of you need to open. Pull out. Nice. Good. This whole class tonight is just an exercise in opening up both sides of the body and giving them both a task, an easy task, hold a stick, but giving them a task for an hour. right? Okay. Okay. So hopefully you guys are doing well with this. I'm trying to keep up with the comments. Let me make sure I got the right song here. Yeah. Okay, yeah, right. I got the right song. Okay, actually, you know what? Let me pause this just for a second because I will come right back to that. But this is one way that having things in your hand can really help you. Because something about having things in your hand, you start to realize the height of your hands. And in the shoulders, a lot of people, even no matter how good they are, they can keep their hands way down pretty much all the time. That's fine. But when I do start to bring the hoop up towards the current, my hands up towards the current, I can start to do lots of cool things. So there's nothing wrong with keeping my hands down, but there's more stuff I can do in addition if I bring my hands up. I think in the Monday class we talked about if I bring my hands way up, I'm penny rolling. Boom. Right? Boom. And so what happens in shoulder hooping sometimes when people are learning shoulder hooping, they dip their hand in, but then they bring their hand way up here, and it's up to, sorry, didn't mean for the headphone people, sorry. And so having something in your hands underneath can really help you understand how the change in height is going to pull your shoulder away from the body and create like an incline. And then it can create so much of an incline that you can really do some nice barrel rolls or figure out your barrel rolls by having something in your hands to look at or to see to make sure that they're both engaged. If you're new to barrel rolls, I'm up here on the shoulder, and I'm just going to slowly start to bend down once and set that angle. That's a barrel stall. That's not exactly a barrel roll, but it's a barrel roll. And I'm going to use my chopsticks as a reference to keep my hands up high enough that my shoulders, I'm creating a really broad mountain. Uh-oh, sorry. It's not good to do that in flip-flops. All right, so that's our idea. Oh, wait, no. This is the song. Okay, so we're working on barrel rolls. Do you do barrel rolls? Do you want to try it? And since you give it a go. Yeah. You're just playing with the height of your hands to the current. You're using your sticks to kind of help you remember that your hands can be way deep down in the water, away from the surface of the hoop, or then be really close. Oh. Costume malfunction, all right. Oh, I need my mallets here. So this is essentially what we're working on if it's not super clear. I'm keeping my arm, I'm using the mallet so that I can see the reach of my arm, and I'm pushing out, and then I can start to push up, create angle, and barrel roll. Left eye on the left hand, right eye on the right hand, alternating. This is me drumming both of those hands, kind of helping me keep focused on them. You see how my arms are out, creating wide mountain. If you're getting dizzy, you can rock the movement of one arm. See how that affects you. Rock the movement of the other arm. Is it like a pulse or does it like a circle? Now, I'll be honest with you, the chopsticks work okay when it comes to angle hooping, but they're not super, maybe as essential. Again, if I bring my arm all the way up, bring the mallet and chopstick all the way up, I flatten the hoop out, or excuse me, I flatten it to the body. Yeah, it is a workout. Sorry, guys. This is very intense. But you made it. You made it. You are at the free hoop portion for the rest of the night here. We're going to sort of ride off into the sunset and give you a chance to just listen to some good music. This is Spoken Bird. This playlist will be on my playlist. It'll be on SoundCloud. Do you want to take this one? Sweet. Anne's going to free hoop us out. Thanks for joining me, everybody. I know this class was a little bit more of a training class, but I hope it helped. We're going to go for about 10 more minutes of music, so you'll have some chance, if you stay with us, to work on anything that you'd like and see if you feel any different from that kind of awareness building. Super grateful for all the support that I've had. I will be building a new event page soon, and I'll invite you all to join that on Facebook. Right? Nice, Beth. Big shout out and love to Beth Lavender. This is her house. I'm a guest in it. A separate house. She's the best landlord that you could possibly have in a million years. Yep. For those of you that have been taking these classes and trying to participate in as much as you can, and you get done and you feel great and you feel open, trust yourself in that place. If you have a revelation in that place, if you have a revelation in this place where you feel blissed out, you feel open, you feel worked out, trust those revelations. They're usually a little bit better, more reliable than the I'm so stressed out revelation. One of the beautiful things about flow and movement is it helps get us to that place of clarity. All right, I love this track. I think I played this last time. Right. But that's the real power of the flow, is that we can go out and get that clarity. We can do things to create clarity. We know that pathway. We can tell everybody to chill. In 5 minutes or so with a hoop, we can find that clarity. That's powerful. That's powerful. This is the free hoop. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. The next event will be this Saturday jam at 3 o'clock. And I'm not promising, but it may not be safe for kids. want to take it? Yeah, well, this will be the last one. We'll fade out on you. Yep. Thank you, everybody. This will be the last song. It's not super chill, as usual, but thank you so much. Thank you, everyone that's joining. Thank you, everybody that's donating. The donations are really, really helping me, and I appreciate it. Your belief and your support in what I'm doing and what we're doing, making me a part of a weekly ritual or every other week ritual, that means a lot to me. I don't take it for granted. Right? Oh, sweet. Sweet. I'm glad Chopsticks were helpful, guys. Thanks for chiming in. Thanks for your comments. Thanks for your shares, your invites. Yep. Biggest love. Stay safe out there, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. We will have a new event page up super soon. What's that? Thank you, everybody. Have a great night. I'll post the link to the playlist before the stream ends, hopefully. We do appreciate it. Thank you. Have a great night.